Incidents, but certainly a busy morning for Seattle Police, and Adam Mertz following the latest for us on Aurora Avenue and 125th. Thank you. So let's send it over to Liz now.
Yeah, we have a guest in studio because all morning long and kind of all week long, we've been talking about getting your family ready for potential emergencies. So Matt Offlick is joining us today. He's with Seattle's emergency management. He's Seattle's emergency management control coordinator, I should say. Matt, good morning.
Good morning.
So there's been a lot of buzz about this article that everyone's sharing on Twitter and Facebook, and we talked about it here, where a giant earthquake is going to take all of us down. It's freaking me out. It's overwhelming me. So we want to kind of put our viewers at ease. What can we do to hopefully prepare for the big one?
Yeah, I think the first thing to mention is that people need to know that city departments have been planning for this for a long time.
Okay.
Planning for what the impacts will be and how all the various departments can coordinate so that they can respond effectively. And outside of that, there's a lot of things that the general public can do on their own to plan.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we're talking about not just earthquakes, pretty much any disaster we definitely need to plan for. And we were talking a little bit about having a plan.
Yep.
What do we need to know when we sit down with our family to map this out?
Yeah, I think, you want to talk about the things that could happen. That's good. But you also don't necessarily want to just focus on these events like the earthquake that everyone's talking about. And one of the key things that you want to talk about is how you're going to get in contact with each other. So knowing how to get a hold of each other, and that means not just having phone numbers stored in your cell phone, but having contact information written down and being prepared to use not just phone calls, but use text, use social media, use various ways to get a hold of each other.
Okay, so step one, make sure you have the context written down. I like that because, you lose your phone, you lose your whole life, it feels like. So that's step one. What's the next step?
Another thing you want to do is designate a meeting place. So if you have to leave your home or for some reason you're not able to get to your home, what's a designated place that you can meet? And that's especially important if you're not able to get in contact with each other. If everyone knows this is where we'll meet in a situation like this, then that goes a long way.
I know that I'm a person that gets easily overwhelmed, especially when it comes to, kind of disaster preparedness, emergency preparedness. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot to remember. So let's keep it simple. I want to talk a little bit about what you have in this bag here. It's small. It's concise. What do you have? Yeah,
so I just have a few things. And the key here is this is a smaller kit. So we talk about things that you'll keep in your house in a kit, but you also want to think about your car and a smaller kit for in your car. So just a few things that I have in here is a first aid kit. I mean, that's always a good thing to have. Also water, having bottled water on hand is always good. And then a light source as well. So having a flashlight or a glow stick, those are good things to have in your car.
Let's talk a little bit about this water. We actually had a viewer on Facebook ask a really good question. Jesse on Facebook asked, how much water does an adult need to have on hand for, say, 7 to 10 days if something like this occurs?
Yeah, so 7 to 10 days is the time period that we recommend people plan for. And we recommend that for an adult, you'll have 1 gallon of water per day. So that includes not just for drinking, but you may need water for cooking, for hygiene, washing your hands, those types of things. So 1 gallon per day.
Yeah, I guess you don't think about it. You think, oh, I just need some drinking water. But I mean, really, you're just taking for granted how much water we use every single day.
Exactly.
And lastly here, let's talk a little bit quickly about just kids. How do we talk about this with kids without freaking them out too much?
Yeah, I think the key there is, you kind of hit the nail on the head earlier, is that you don't need to focus on that big earthquake. Focus on any type of emergency. So you could have a fire, you could have a large storm. And I think the message is that the reason to do this planning is so that when something does happen, putting these things into place is second nature. So you won't be scared at that time. You know exactly what to do.
Right. And I think, that's the key. Knowledge is power in this situation. This is great information. Matt, really appreciate it. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So we have plenty more on the way here, 8:20 right now, and we're talking about the Bellingham teen who survived a